Sure you don't want to do this tour, huh? Hey everybody, my name is Josh, and today I'm going to give you a tour of this 1965 GMC Handi-Van. So a few things I want to mention before we jump into the tour is this is my dad's van. He actually did the conversion over the course of about 2 years. He kind of chipped away at it. It's finally in a place that he was ready for me to share with all of you. So my dad did a lot more than just create a little weekend camper in the back of this van. He did a lot of mechanical modifications and upgrades. And so if you're interested in any of that info, there'll be a write-up posted below in the description. The other thing that I want to point out is that this isn't a full-time living camper van. It's really designed for weekend trips or shorter little adventures. If you're interested in having your van converted, I'll have my website linked below. I think that's about all I have. Now I'll hop behind the camera and get started on this tour. You'll notice right up top that there's a universal roof rack. It's good for holding a surfboard as well as mounting a detachable awning. Next to the roof rack, you'll notice some custom pinstriping. There's actually a number of pieces throughout the van. Now all of this artwork was done by a guy named Michael Swan, and I'll have some links below to his website as well as his Instagram account. So starting up in the cab area of the van, right up top, he added a storage cubby that has a couple speakers mounted in it, as well as a small switch panel and the head unit to the radio. The other add-on that he made was this center console area. Originally the floor was just flat here. By doing this, he was able to add some cup holders, gauges, and the shifter, which the van was converted to automatic. It was originally a 3-speed. In the front of the van, he added a lower air scoop, and that actually runs underneath this center console here to cool the engine. I'll pop open the doghouse here and give you a look at what's on the inside. I really have nothing to say in here because I don't know a thing about engines. So the van was converted from a 6-cylinder to a Chevy 350 V8. And now we'll close this up and take a peek at what's in the back. So with the doors open, you can kind of get an idea of the general layout of the van. We'll start up behind the passenger seat here, which is actually where the battery selector switch is located. So for anyone that's been a long-time follower, this thing may look a little familiar because this is what I had in my van. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about it, that video will be linked up right here. In short, it basically allows you to manually select which battery you'd like to pull power from. So number 1 is hooked up to the starter battery, number 2 is hooked up to the auxiliary battery. When you're parked and you want to use any of the accessories in the back, you can switch it over to number 2, and that way you're not going to be pulling any power from your starter battery, which is number 1. Moving over to behind the driver's seat, there is a little leather bag here. This will be a shameless plug. I actually own a small leather goods business. I'll have the Instagram link below if you're interested in any handmade leather goods. You know where to find me. Right in front of that bag is the inverter, which I believe is a 2,000 watt inverter, and that's mounted on the side of this bench here, which actually houses the electrical system. If we flip this open, you can see a lot of the wiring in here. Here's the auxiliary battery, a small little fuse block, and then actually an amplifier over here for the speakers that you'll see kind of throughout the van. There is an area for a little bit of extra storage tucked up over here, just in front of that wheel well. Close that up. Tucked up in this corner up here is a 12-volt accessory plug and then a couple USB ports. And above that you have your wall decor, making it feel a little more homey. And right up here you'll see that there's a fixed fan just kind of pointed over at the bed area. Of course there's one of those speakers I was just talking about, one on each side of the drawer, and then this is a big storage drawer. It's a pretty big storage drawer. It's about 2 feet wide by 16 inches, deep, and about 10 inches tall. And then you can see that it's mounted on some drawer guides, so it opens and closes pretty easy. And believe it or not, it actually stays shut even when you hit the brakes. There's not a whole lot of heavy items in there, as you just saw. It's mainly towels and whatnot. So even if it did slide open, nothing too dangerous is going to fall out. Now I'll go around to the back and pop the doors open and we can cover a little bit more about the bed. With the back doors open, you can see the whole bed setup. It's roughly 64 inches across this way and about 48 inches front to back. He actually had Verlo make the bed, which is a mattress company, custom to the dimensions that he gave them. And so it's a fully wrapped mattress. And you can see that it's just a regular wrapped mattress with a custom fitted sheet. Above the bed in the back here are a couple more speakers. Clearly my dad likes to jam. Below the bed it's kind of hard to see, but there's a hinged door that will pop open and show you a little bit about the additional storage. You can actually fit a ton of stuff in here. It's basically the whole footprint of the bed, minus that drawer that you saw earlier in the tour. Spare tire, jack, some extra tools, a couple camping chairs, and that removable awning that I mentioned earlier also fits back under this bed. Close that back up. What was that? May have just witnessed a murder. He also added a hitch to the back bumper down here. The last thing to go over is the ceiling. It's got several different lighting options inside here. You can, of course, see the recessed lighting down the center. And there's also several LED accent lights in the ceiling, as well as below some of the cabinets in the front of the van. This is as much as I could convince my dad to be in the video, so that's his hand right there. So here you can see the awning attached to the van, and it's actually designed to be set up a couple different ways. The first being what you see here. There's actually kind of like almost a window on the front here. There you can see the window I was talking about. It's a little more than a one-handed operation, but from the inside, hopping inside the van here, you can kind of see how much room there really is in that first setup style. Almost makes it like a half tent hooked off the side of the van. And here you can see that awning kind of set up in the fully upright position. It's actually an enormous awning. Really covers a lot of area, so it's a cool addition to have on the van. I think that's going to do it for this tour. Hopefully I covered everything in the van. If you saw something that I missed, be sure to leave a comment and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. And again, if you are interested in having your van converted, I'll have my website linked below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.